Today we get to work together to figure out how to solve one of our math story problems. This problem is a part-part whole problem when we have a missing part. I'm going to show you the steps that a good mathematician would take to solve a problem like this. We're going to follow our math story CFS to make sure that we are set up for success. The first step we know is to always write our first and last name and the date. I'm going to do that now. Great, now that I have my name and date written, I'm going to go ahead and read the problem. That way we'll be sure that we understand it. We might even want to talk about the problem in our own words. There are 78 first grade scholars. 32 scholars are girls. The rest are boys. How many boys are in first grade? I'm not sure if I understand, so I'm going to read it one more time to make sure it is crystal clear. There are 78 first grade scholars. Okay, so that lets me know there is this total amount of 78 first grade scholars. 32 scholars are girls. So that means of these 78 scholars, some of them are girls. 32 of them to be exact. The rest are boys. So that means of these 78, 32 are girls, and then the rest are boys. And we're trying to figure out how many boys are in first grade. Okay, before I get going, I know that I'm going to annotate the problem with my part and whole labels to make sure I am set up and ready to solve the problem. Let me go through and look for the most important information. Well, it's important that I know how many scholars there are total. So I'm going to circle 78 and underline the unit, first grade scholars. Then I'm looking at my next number, 32. 32 scholars, but girl scholars, so that was super important too. And the rest are boys. How many boys are in first grade? That's what I'm trying to figure out, is the number of boys. Let me go back and add my part and whole labels. Well, we know that we said 78 is the total amount, so that's going to be the whole. I'm going to write a W for whole. Some of them are girls, 32 of them, so that's one of our parts. And then we're looking for the number of boys, which is the other part. Now that I know my part and wholes, I can set up my number bond or my part and whole box. I normally like to do a number bond because I think it's super clear. It shows how my two parts come together to equal my whole. My whole is 78. One of my parts is 32. And now I've got the task of figuring out how to solve a missing part. We know as good mathematicians, there are several different ways that you could solve this problem. I'm going to show you some of them that you might want to try next time you have a problem like this. One thing that I would want to do is start at my whole and take away the part that I do know so that I'm left with the missing part. Let me think about how I could do that. I could try stacking, maybe a heart strategy, or even tens and ones. So let's kind of look through and try some of those. I'm going to try stacking first. We know that our representation is going to be neat and labeled. So I'm going to start with 78, and we know that's the whole, so I'm writing my W. I know if I take away one part, that I'll be left with my missing part. So this is called our stacking strategy. I'm going to start in the ones place. So starting on the right side. 8 minus 2. I know 8 minus 2 is 6. Now we can move over to the tens place. 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. So this tells me that my missing part is 46. But I know as a good mathematician, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to keep going to double check, and that way I'll make sure I'm not making any mistakes. Let's try a different strategy. Maybe we now want to try the heart strategy. Let's start at 78 and count back to 32. I'm going to put 78 in my heart. Now I know that I can count back to the part that I do know and see how many that took me. But let me see. I don't know if it would be very efficient to count by ones. That would take me a long time to get from 78 all the way to 32. I think I'm going to have to try and do some of my skip counting that I've worked on so hard. I'm going to start with the skip counting by tens. I'm going to make sure that I don't pass 32. If I'm at 78 and I go backwards 10, that would give me 68. I need to keep going. Now I take away 10 more, I'm at 58. I'm going to keep going because I'm not at 32 yet. Take away 10 more. Now I'm at 48. Take away 10 more. Now I'm at 38. Wow, I'm really close to 38. If I take away 10 more, I'll be at 28. So I think I'm going to have to switch and skip count by something else. I'm just going to switch count to ones. 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. Now I found my way to 32. I'm going to see how many I counted back, and that will be my missing part. We're going to see if it equals 46 like I already found one time. Here we go. I'm going to keep labeling 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So I found that, again, the missing part is 46. Whoa, we just tried two different strategies to solve for the missing part, and we found the same answer. Normally, I would go ahead and move on to my number, sentence, and answer, but I want to make sure that I'm showing you guys all of the different ways that you might choose to solve this problem. So I'm going to stop here and try even a third strategy for you guys to see. One strategy that we might want to do is representing the problem with tens and ones and then taking some away. Let's try doing that. I'm going to start with my whole. I'm going to represent 78. I know that in the tens place is 7, so I'm going to have 7 10 sticks. And in the ones place is 8, so I'm going to have 8 ones. Great, I've represented 78, which is my whole. Now I'm going to go through and take away the part that I do know to see how many is left. And that will tell me how many boys there are in first grade. So looking at the number 32, I know that I need to take away 2 ones. And then in the tens place there is 3, so I need to take away 3 10 sticks. Notice I'm starting at the greatest number, so it'll be easier for me to go back and count. Now we can see what we're left with. This will be our missing part. Let's count together. 10, 20, 30, 40, switch, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Wow, all 3 of these strategies helped me to solve for that missing part. Now we can jump down to our number sentence. Let's think about what we did to solve the problem. That will tell us what we need to represent in our number sentence. Well, for all 3 of these strategies, we started at 78. Let's write that. We started at 78. We know that is the whole. And what did we take away or did we add on? Well, we took away, so I know we're subtracting. We took away 32, which was one of our parts. And we found our missing part, which was 46. Now, I know as a good mathematician, we've got to go back and write our answer with units. So let me double check my units. 46. Oh yeah, I already annotated. We know we're looking for 46 boys. Now I've got my answer written, 46 boys. But I'm not done yet. There's still a last step that good mathematicians always take, and that is to double check. Let me go through some steps to check my work. Does my representation match the problem? Well, it said there were 78 scholars. I started with those 78. I showed how some were girls, and I found the missing ones that were the boys. So yes, my problem does represent, or my representation does represent the problem. Now, let me see, does my number sentence match my work? Yeah, I started with 78, I took away 32, just like this, and ended up with 46. Now, I need to see, does my answer actually make sense? 46 boys. Would that make sense if there were 72 scholars, 32 were girls, and 46 were boys? Yeah, that makes sense and actually answers the question that was being asked. So I know that I met the CFS because I have an annotated problem, represented the problem, have a number sentence that matches, and I gave an answer with units. Not only that, but my work is neat and labeled. I'm super excited for you guys to try some of these different strategies. You might even find something that could be another way to solve the problem, but you know that you have these 3 different strategies to use to solve for a missing part. I can't wait to see how you guys solve for a missing part next.